Hello everyone, my name is Loco, and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is a best of 3 series of Protoss versus Protoss. We're in the top right hand corner, we're looking inside of the main base of Zoun, playing in blue, and his opponent down in the red. He goes by the name of Classic. A Protoss versus Protoss. A very difficult matchup. One that in general can be over in a heartbeat. Now this particular series was played during the GSL Code S, and supposedly it's a banger, so we'll have to find out together exactly what ended up going down, as we've got ourselves a gateway here on the high ground on both sides of the map. There are a few ways, of course, that you can go for a fast expansion in this particular matchup. For a while, we actually did see a lot of players, most notably Max Specs, expand to the low ground very, very quickly and wall off early on into the game. But on a map, especially like this one, right, where you don't really have a ramp leading up towards your main base and your natural expansion, it gets very, very tricky. Double gateways, because of that, will probably be coming up on the high ground. Classic a little bit later with the second gateway, probably plans on putting the Cyber Core over here instead. We'll have to see what sort of units they decide to go for here early on. Now, Protoss versus Protoss is a difficult matchup. There's a lot of different unit compositions that are viable. This is, in general, actually, I think, out of all the matchups in StarCraft 2, the one that people tend to enjoy the least. I'm not sure if it's entirely fair. I think this matchup, has a lot of potential for stupid stuff. Okay, yeah. So, speaking of stupid stuff, Zoun is building a pylon in the top left-hand corner. Classic is also building a pylon, one screen over. Both of them are ready to cheese one another. It's going to be a stargate here for Zoun. It's going to be a robo here for Classic. Okay. It's not the exact same build order, but both of them certainly are looking to deal some sort of damage. Of course, they have to pretend that they're going for very normal strats here. That is, of course, the tricky part of this matchup. You have to now pretend that you're just doing a normal game of StarCraft 2, and you're most definitely not cheesing. Zoun is looking around, though, because he doesn't entirely believe what's happening in this game so far. So what Zoun has seen is a single pylon in the main base, right? So he has scouted that the opponent has a single pylon, but he knows that there is a second pylon out there somewhere. He just doesn't know where it would be located. Likewise, Classic at this point has seen that the opponent only has 2 pylons in the main base, where at this point in the match you do need a third. Technically, though, he could be getting away with it. I mean, this is difficult to read here for Classic. He doesn't know the exact timing of those structures. Robo facility, though. It's going to be a Warp Prism first. Zoun still looking around. Will not be... Oh, he sees it. He sees it. He sees it. Star Sense is tingling here for Zoun. He's recognized that something fishy is happening, and this is going to maybe change things a little bit. At the very least, he can prepare for some hyper-aggression from the opponent. It's going to be an Immortal follow-up too. Oracle has been sent straight into the main. Do you go for like a Void Ray now? Void Ray and then try to snipe this ASAP? Alright, let's see how much damage the Oracle can do. Maybe he wants to save it up. No, he decides to actually not commit to this just yet. Even though Classic hasn't seen the Stargate, he knows that something fishy could be happening, as we do have now the elevator play into the main base. Classic trying to get some damage done with those adepts. If they're firing at the same time, they can actually put in quite a bit of work. Oracle still waiting, mostly just accumulating energy here. There is already a little squad of units waiting inside of the main base, but no shield battery. 5 probes, though, is really quite good here for Classic. Okay, second Oracle is going to come up. So, with a shield battery, you can protect quite nicely against a single Oracle, but with double Oracle, it's much harder to defend. A shield battery alone is not going to cut it. Honestly, 2 Stalkers alone are not going to cut it either. Classic now believes, he doesn't know what he's playing against, right? He hasn't seen it, but he probably has been able to figure out, just by putting all the puzzle pieces together, that there is a proxy out there somewhere. He is going to leave 2 Stalkers behind and commit to a big push on the other side of the map. High ground advantage here, though, for Zoun. It means that he can use that shield battery. He can use the sentry over here. So we do have a bit of a panic now. Decides to cancel the warp in and warp in the Stalkers in the main base instead. Nice snipe right there, though, by Classic. Oracle's finally committing. That was several minutes in the making. We have a force field in the meantime on the other side of the map as both players can force field one another out. Okay, Classic, yeah, he just simply has the better units. Zoun is up with his back against the wall, and he realizes that this is going to be nearly impossible to stop. I really like that Classic figured out that something fishy was going on, despite actually knowing what exactly was happening. Leaving those couple of stalkers in his own mineral line there at home absolutely turned out to be critical. Because Zoun, of course, was ready to, well, effectively swoop in. So Zoun's plan was to basically kill the opponent's economy and then to force field the main army out of that main base for as long as possible while putting pressure on that prison. And if Classic would have tried to continue that exact fight with like half of the workers that he actually had, I mean, he would just fizzle out over time. Classic keeping those stalkers at home, absolutely critical. Pushing away those oracles turned out to be the key play in that particular game. Now we find ourselves in Incorporeal, a large map, a lot of expansions, not particularly flashy. Although there is, of course, always this. This section of the map is a bit weird. I mean, if you want to go for proxies, I always kind of feel like this is the spot to do it, you know? Like, it's like a cul-de-sac. We need like a little traffic sign over here that indicates it's a dead end. Not really a whole lot going on. We never see this on StarCraft maps. Rarely is something a dead end on a StarCraft 2 map. But this map features 2 of them. Perfect location for proxy stargates, but because it's such a perfect location, we rarely see players use it. Alright, we have some pylons being planted down. Zoun trying to make sure that the opponent does not expand too quickly. He's going to cancel that pylon though, and then use the resources to plant down a nexus of his own. So even though he's delaying the opponent's nexus, he's also delaying his own nexus. Are we not going to let it... Okay, we're just going to let it finish. Fair enough. He will be able to build the nexus here eventually. Sacrifice a pylon. And then Classic is going to be able to start up his own expansion here too. Okay. Sentries around the map. Of course, with that shield battery overcharge. Or... the shield energy overcharge. Can we call it that? No, with the energy recharge ability on the Nexus, you can get a lot of scouting info in using those hallucinated phoenixes. Ooh, Zoun does see one leg of a stalker. Now, they have quite a few of those. Doesn't see the rest of the units, though, that are following this around. Shield battery coming up, though, for Zoun, and... keep in mind that sentries these days... Oh, we have an hallucinated stalker group. Sentries these days do deal bonus damage against shields. Man, Classic is pulling out all the tricks. I love 2 hallucinated stalkers, actually. That's very fun. So he brought the sentry just to build some hallucinations. Difficult here, though, for Zoun to figure out. But Classic still decides to back up. So we once more have both players building pylons on the other side of the map. Now, this is the other side of the map with a little asterisk right next to it, because this is far away from the opponent's bases. Dark Shrine, though, will be Zoun's weapon of choice. Oh, no. Dark Shrine coming up as well for Classic. Both players proxying again. Both players trying to trick the opponent, but both of them are doing the exact same thing. Okay. Look at the supply counts as well. Look at the worker counts. Look at the attacking unit count, the army count. Everything's identical. It's funny because they're both doing something that is pretty uncommon. And they both believe they have successfully tricked the opponent while doing the exact same thing. Very strange. Have you ever seen those, like, proposal videos on the internet? Where one person proposes to the other one, and then the other guy also pulls out a ring, and they're like, wait a second, I was gonna propose to you! This is the Spider-Man meme, where both of them are pointing at each other. It's like, wait a second, I was tricking you, why are you tricking me? Hallucinated phoenixes are still flying all the way around, but neither player, I believe, has seen what they're going up against. Yeah. Zoun hasn't seen anything. Classic hasn't seen anything either. Third Nexus will start up for the both of them. Dark Templar, though, are warping in. Okay, here we go. We have proxy gates as well to speed up the warp-in process, but here we go. Not all heroes wear capes, but these guys do. What form of detection do we have? Spoiler alert, nothing! There is no detection. These Dark Templar are going to be able to go across the map and absolutely wreak havoc. Can we force field? Force field? Force field? Ah, he could have force fielded and at the very least delayed it, but he didn't know. Focusing on his own Dark Templar on the other side of the map. And this is what we call a clown fiesta. This is one of the dumbest games of StarCraft 2 you can ever watch. Neither player has detection. Both players have Dark Templar. Both players are going to try and rush the opponent's structures while still denying as much of the army as possible. This is like going to the circus, but then in StarCraft 2 land. Okay, now, it might bear repeating that the actual win condition in a game of StarCraft 2 has nothing to do with army. The win condition is destroying your opponent's structures. It is difficult to read right now who would actually win that sort of race, but the structures tab is ultimately all that matters. Zoun is going to start working away for Classic here. Do we have any units in production? Okay, we have some photon cannon coming up. So photon cannons are, of course, detectors. Zoun, you should really target that down. He's going after the forge. Okay, recall being used as well. He's trying to body block. He's trying to body block. He needs to kill these photon cannons before they go up, because otherwise the Dark Templar will be detected. Probes are using their bodies to try and delay any of this possible. We have a couple of the Blink Stalkers also trying to close the distance, but the first photon cannon falls. The Stalkers have now shown up too. There is a third one over here at the bottom. Dark Templar, though, still deal a stupid amount of damage too. And Classic is indeed going to get denied here. Zoun is going to be able to keep all of this going for a little while longer. In the meantime, Classic is working away at structures on the other side of the map. Okay, these Nexi are just about to fall. Workers have died, though, all over the map. New Nexus being acquired now for Zoun in the far top right-hand corner. This is ridiculously close. Actually a super hard game to read now, too. Ultimately, though, Zoun has way more supply. And Zoun is going to be able to just use that supply to his advantage, too, if he actually wants to get the win condition of a game of StarCraft 2 to conclude. Yeah, GG gets cold. There's really no way for Classic to climb his way back into this match. He has a handful of units, but he knows that he's getting outproduced hard, and that means that Zoun is going to be able to get a point on the board. And that means that this series comes down to the map Pylon. Feels appropriate for a matchup like this. Protoss versus Protoss. It can be such chaos. I'm impressed with how pro gamers, though, are able to deal with those extremely stressful situations so smoothly. Right? Because, like, it's difficult as a viewer to follow exactly what is going on. Like, as a commentator, I'm trying my very best to explain what's happening, but it's chaos all over the map. And the fact that players immediately jump to the next step in their, well, master plan is very, very impressive to me. The only way you can deal with those sorts of situations is by being in them literally hundreds of times and then, well, probably losing a whole lot of the time too. But you have to figure out how to navigate your way out of those uncommon circumstances if you want to be really good at StarCraft. And oh no, what are we doing here? Are we once more hiding some structures on the other side of the map, or are we scouting for structures on the other side of the map? It's a weird pattern, man, with this. Yeah, it's a weird pattern to be walking here with this probe. No, I think we're just scouting. Okay. Now we have Zoun scouting whether or not the opponent was just scouting, or if there are actually structures going up. Look at them. Both of them now have trust issues. After those games that we've seen thus far, the both of them have major trust issues. Scouting around the map everywhere, making sure that there's nothing fishy happening. Now, this is actually the most conventional game, with both players making their second pylon at home. Look at that. You can build your second pylon at home? That's crazy. Never seen that before. Okay. Stargate coming up for Zoun, building it inside of the main base. Oh no, never mind. Well, we may very well have a Stargate going up inside of the main base, but we can also proxy another pylon on the other side of the map. Zoun hasn't made an expansion. Classic has. Upon seeing this, Zoun has decided, you know what? Screw all of this. I am ready to once more be the aggressor in a game like this. I mean, Classic is an absolute monster in those longer games. Can't really blame him, but this is very committed. So, obviously the Stargate is not going to be the most useful thing. At this point, though, this is a full wall-off. I actually wonder if Zoun meant to cancel that, because the shield battery is not what he needs here. That is honestly just a bunch of wasted resources, and Classic sees that the opponent has walled himself in fully, and Classic has seen that the opponent didn't make an expansion. So that means that there can only ever be an all-in. Classic warping in as many sentries as he can afford. Goes for the Robo facility here too. Immortals are fantastic. War Prisms are fantastic. Whatever he can produce here out of the Robo facility is going to be fantastic. He needs to get those units going though ASAP. They're all expensive. Some nice force fields go down, and look at the... Ooh, look at the sentries hunting. Lovely work right there by Classic. Slices that army cleanly in half. Oracle though, now available in the main base. He's gonna recall what is in the other matchup the least scary unit of them all. Couple of adepts do, shade up towards the high ground. There's one pylon to power everything. Can we please use whatever we have at our disposal to repair that battery, or use the battery to repair the pylon back up to full? It looks like the Oracle has been left by its own. But the main army here, though, of Zoun has disappeared. And it looks to me that this is not enough damage. Maybe the adepts can justify a lot of this. But no, they are also gonna go down within just a couple of seconds. And even though that was extremely chaotic, Classic has managed to defend. And ultimately, this is 2 base versus 1 base. He may have slightly less workers, sure, but he's got more tech, and he's got a second Nexus. Let's see. Yeah, if he can just get on top of these structures, that would be amazing for him, right? He's left some units in the main base now, too. Oh, I like that force field. I like that force field a lot. He just force fielded the player in red inside of their own base. It looks like now the pylon will fall, but the prism already spawned. The prism being out means that he can actually elevate some of the units beyond the force field. Yeah, Immortal is just so freaking powerful here. And even though that was a really cute play by Zoun, that was not quite enough to bring that entire series home. It's going to be Classic who obtains a victory 2-1. In an absolute clown fiesta of a StarCraft 2 series. Man, that prism, though, spawning just at the perfect opportunity, right? Like, that is... Could have been an absolute disaster there for Classic, but he got the job done. Extremely closely, but he, well, obtained the victory in the end.